Sentinel Prime. Look at that beautiful dome. Nice, like a Colosseum. It is the Colosseum. And also, like, look at the arcs. Ooh, the flow right there and going down again. I think, like, this kind of way of building is something that we don't do nowadays. Like, everything is just rectangular and kind of boring to look at. If you ask me, like, this is just beautiful. Maybe not that nice when it comes to saving space, but it's better for the eyes. So what do we have here? The ancient arena is a holy place for the people of Argent Nur. Constructed in the earliest days of their history, this Colosseum served as a proving ground for trial by combat. Historical records indicate that the Argenta did not jail their own kind. Rather, prisoners and criminals were granted the right to earn their chance at regaining honor through victory in the arena. Those who succeeded were given a place to fight in the front lines of the Sentinel army, to die in service to Argent Nur. This traditional use of the arena has subsided since the assimilation with the Dark Realm. The corrupted priests now allow more violent exchanges with armed captives, pitted against demons for sport. The priests of the Order Deeg continue to hold undisputed power on Argent Nur. Spilling the blood of the Argent Ascended class will result in the transgressor's banishment. Asylum amongst the Argenta will be denied to any who do not adhere to the rules of engagement. History of the Sentinels, Part 4. What do we have here? That is an interesting history. Can't read that. Some kind of looks like what kind of language is this? Some kind of like what is this? I think I've seen something like that. It's kind of like a mixture between like Arab and maybe some Babylonian whatever stuff, because of those points right here. Like, you usually use some kind of like wooden pencil or something to mark those things. Really interesting. So, translation from the Ligra Sultagenta Book of Kings. In the time of King Novik, as the Argenta secured peace and safety through dimensions across time and space, an outlander came to us. He was not of our world and spoke an ugly tongue. How the first took step upon our land was unknown. Sentinel scouts had found the outlander bloodied, clawed, and near death, mumbling of impending doom and the forces of darkness. The scent of blood followed him, and the gore that stained his armor seemed not entirely his own. By Argenta law, the stranger would be judged in the Colosseum, where he would be given the chance of all who stray from the path to fight for his freedom. We know not of this stranger. His mind seemed crippled with rage. He dressed in attire not suited for our lands and carried munition of arcane origin. We watched as his will overcame his injuries, and in the blood arena he proved his worth. The outlander's technique was crude and brutal, but the determination in his charge echoed that of any true-born sentinel. His war cry echoed throughout the Colosseum, as did the sound of his fury, and the guards cheered his banner. Rip and tear, they shouted, as the beast pushed beyond mortal wounds and certain death. He would be gifted no rank, no title. The survivors in the arena were provided only one reward, the right to earn an honorable death, while spreading the blessings of the Makers to those in need. The outlander's determination was witnessed, his ravings documented, and through the word of the Order Deeg, the Khan Maker had him brought before her. She set her minions to learning his tongue, for with his ugly words he spoke of lands unseen, creatures born of fire, and a dark place unknown to the Queen and her caste. Yet another opportunity to expand the gift of the Makers to those in need. Interesting. So the Maker, the Khan Maker, is not from the demon realm, but something completely different. So they use the demon's power, but they are not from the demon realm. Interesting. So there are like 4 factions, right? Like the Earthlings with the Outlander and the Doom guy. Then there is the Sentinels, which are like the aliens and their arena. And then we have the 2 spiritual beings. Let's call them that. The ones are like the demons, of course, the ones we fight. And then there are the makers, the kind of like angel thingies. Fairly interesting. Gladiator. Bam, 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 bam. No, this is Terminator. Ooh. Okay, so are we fighting this thing? Now, or whatever. This one looks like a battery. Caution. Caution. Okay, so, of course, this is a weapon. And this one is a shield, and it also has glowing eyes. But it's yellow instead of red. Weird. In the years following the end of the Golden Age, competing factions of Argent turned against one another. An insidious influence had beset itself upon the Sentinel people, corrupting its once held sacred traditions. The Colosseum, once a place of honorable combat, where prisoners of the Argenta were tested for the right to fight in the front lines of their army, has since become a place of bloodsport. In violation of Sentinel law, the priests have engaged a demon there, a merciless executioner used to enact judgment of their own decree. The gladiator, wielding an accursed shield which entombs the tormented soul of his undying master, remains undefeated in battle, infamous for the many lives it has claimed. Well, time to claim it instead. A different kind of language, look at that. Different writing. Like, we have a writing up here, which is different from the one down here. Like, this must be Sentinel writing, and this is either demon writing or maker writing, depending on what that is. Interesting. And there are like demons coming and yeah, attacking all of those people, normal people. Translation from the Liagra Targenta, Book of Kings. Oh, Sultan. On the eve of the Black Star, the Dark Ones came from a world beneath our own, not through ship nor ephemeral vessel, but through the fabric of dimensions. Out of swirling fiery gates came horned beasts from a timeless realm. First one, then many. Crashing waves of evil swirled from the obsidian forests of the Argentian overlands. The Alorum clans from the eastern mountains fell first to the black hordes of devils, and the city of Telorum was slung under the weight of their charge. We Sentinels rose to meet the beasts with spear in hand, the might of the holy fleet striking back at the demons. But the dark gates from whence they came gave birth still to even greater hordes. A line of blood was drawn with the fallen of both sides, and the unholy wars began as the time of darkness came upon us. Alright, so demons came through portals. Sweet. And the Sentinels part 6. What is this? Again, like Sentinel writing, I presume. And some either maker or demon writing. Very strange. And also, this image here is wrong. Like the original way this is intended is actually with a like with palms pointing downwards, right? One way they point downwards, and the other way the palm is actually pointed forwards. The limbs are turned like 90 degrees. Same goes for the feet. You have your forward pointing feet, and then you have a sidewards pointing foot. And then, of course, you have like the thing in standing position and in a slightly angled position. And then those two thingies here, like hitting them at the bottom here, on the side there, and of course at the top here. This is not quite correct. So, but I still like the way it's because otherwise look at this. Otherwise you get the same info from that leg as you would get from this leg, and in order to put more info into that drawing, you have to make these two legs not kind of symmetric, but actually you have to put different info in both of them So one has to point forward, the other one has to point sideways. So in the direction the circle is going, kind of. So, what do we have here? Translation from the Liagra Sulga Tagenta Book of Kings. Unlike enemies of the past who could not contain the demons emergent from the Dark Realm, their weaponry was not conjured from machined steel, but from the essence of their very being, a dark magic not known to us in our many conquests. Had we grown overconfident, our victories serving to dull our blade as we drank in the glory of our expanding empire, lost we knew not of how to prevail against this foe. The Maker gods stood perplexed, and our engineers and priests scrambled to find the advantage in battle we so desperately needed. Unknown to the enemy, we were pushed to the brink of defeat, and our gods stood with us as we worked to find the answer. The Order of the Deek were the first to unlock the mystery of these foul creatures. The priests were able to capture several of the beasts and set about to identify the source of their power. It was then that the essence of the Dark Realm was discovered, not wholly unlike our own. This power was the life essence that flowed through their twisted form and powered their attacks. It could be harnessed to power our own weapons, giving the Argenta the chance to combat the demons on even footing. The priests believed that with greater knowledge of the essence, we could discover its source and cut it off from the demons to strangle their armies from within, allowing us to regain the advantage we required for victory on the battlefield. The Khan Maker gave blessings to our majesty and directed the priests to delve deeper into the mysteries of the Scarlet Elixir from the demonic realm, for she sought only to return balance to our universe. Proper assimilation was required, as hell stood beyond her influence. After a great effort, the priests discovered more than they had ever hoped for. They learned of the true nature of the demonic energy and how it could strengthen those skilled enough to harness its power. The energy coursing through the malformed bodies of our relentless enemy could be used to end life or to enhance it. The power to heal, to mend, immortality, knowledge, and enlightened faculties beyond our understanding. With a demon's life force in the skilled hands of the Sentinel priests and under the righteous gaze of the Khan Maker, our people would not only rise to victory over the unholy horde that clawed at our walls, we would move to a higher plateau of existence, ushering in a new era of military science and industrial healing. No Sentinel would grow sick, no Maker would need to suffer the transfiguration that they so feared. All would be risen. None could ever oppose our peaceful ways and threaten our world again. True balance over hell and its legions over space and time. In this world and all others, we would dictate the order. United with the Makers, we would find peace eternal. And of course, it backfires, as usual. They get corrupted by the demon energy, and yeah. It's kind of like nuclear fission, if you think about it, right? Nuclear fission is a very useful energy or way of getting energy, but it's actually very destructive if it backfires. Same thing goes for the demon or demonic energy or Argenta energy or whatever that is. Actually, no, Argenta I think is a different energy form than this. Or like Sentinel energy, whatever. Then you have your like demon energy, and yeah, same thing. Like you get a positive kind of energy, and then you have a negative form of energy. But to be honest, it's none of it is positive nor negative. The thing is that the demons control one of those energy forms, and therefore probably harming everyone more easily that is not a demon. So it just doesn't quite fit. That's the only thing. Part number 7 we have here. Like this is us. Oh, look at the holy symbol. Like this is an kind of like a circle that represents the sun, or like energy actually, like energy in form of the sun. And this is like Templars stuff there. So do we train, or are we getting trained here? Because this one here is probably falling backwards, and we are standing normal-ish, right? With a, it seems, slightly larger blade. Interesting. And then we have like the old guy here with the gun on his shoulder. Interesting. So, again, Sultagenta, Book of Kings. The Khan Maker demanded a tithe of the essence, and driven by her desire, the priests submitted themselves to her will. The Lord of the Deek took counsel with the king, speaking only of the spoiled lands sure to be found through the cleft in creation, and the opportunity to purge the new invaders from Argent Nur. We took the war to their cursed land, pressing through the gates of wizardry. There was one among us who seemed to know the true nature of those foul demons. It was the Outlander, the stranger who had come to us from places unknown. He who had survived in the front lines for longer than any Sentinel-born prisoner had before. His passion for battle against the vile horde was evident, his lust for their destruction matching our own. Though Argent Nur remained a foreign land to him, his further caught the attention of inquisitors of the Sentinel Guard. Some whispering of a suspected allegiance he held in secret with the demons, silencing the city's critics. King Novik deemed him worthy of selection. The signifiers brought a commission to our king, and it was decided that he be lifted from the common rabble. Though no arena-born prisoner had ever been granted the honor, the Knight Sentinels broke tradition and deemed the Outlander worthy of training. A number of disciples crumbled and chafed at the barbarian present in their ranks, but in the war with the demons, all opportunities for even the slightest advantage was to be considered, and as they witnessed the stranger spar with their hall masters, they found in him an undying, unrelenting compatriot. This man was an outsider, friend to none, and yet rose each time he was thrown to the dirt of the circle. Battered and bruised, his brow stained with blood, he rose with grim, determined for the chance to face his enemies in armed combat once again. Time passed as the stranger was instructed in the codified matrices of their order, the ancient lessons of battle and brotherhood taught to all sentinels. He could sense the opportunity before him. Soon all of hell would feel his wrath once again. Satisfied that he would not be a detriment to their prowess, the Night Sentinels granted him his wish as they ventured through the Hellgate with the stranger in tow. They knew no rest, fighting in the unnatural elements and training under the blood moon of night. The stranger suffered exhaustion, wounds, and sickness, but asked for no aid and was offered none. 3 times the Night Sentinels ventured into the gate and back, and upon every return the stranger strode more capable than before. His gait locked in step with the march of the Sentinels, a disciplined, and now controlled lust for demon blood ever present. The passing of years and numerous battles with the devils indentured the stranger to Argenta's mightiest warriors, and no longer did they condescend to him as a new-blooded conscribe, for to learn he had become a brother in arms, forged in war, an ally, and a weapon. Probably more like just a weapon, right? But where do we get that kind of battle fever, right? That rage. It has to come from somewhere. He can't just be an anomaly. Like, he has to have a connection to something. That's the interesting bit. Part number 8. So, these are the angelic entities. Interesting. They don't seem to have any writing themselves. The only ones that have writings are the sentinels here. Fascinating. Really, really fascinating. Also, okay, so if the makers are the bringers of like prosperity, then they control the sentinels by giving them energy, right? And they take the energy from the death of either the demons or the sentinels, but probably the sentinels. And they use the demons for this to happen, right? So this could be the reason why there are demons coming. Otherwise, like, why? Where do the makers actually take their energy, and why are they even why do they even have like a diplomatic connection, or why are they even bound to the Sentinels? Like, why? What's their reason of helping them out? So, again, Liagra Sultagenta Book of Kings. As we warred with the beasts of the Argenta Society group, damn it, as we warred with the beasts, the Argenta Society grew under the watchful eye of the Makers and through the endless power of the Essence. While our generals were consumed with the unholy war, our culture was marked by the beautiful potion the enemy had provided us, the sweet elixir. It brought us immeasurable capacity and empowered us to reach further into dimensions once thought to be beyond our grasp. Under the direction of our Maker gods and the engineering of our high priests, our weapons blazed and our war machines stormed. The throngs of the populace drank deeply from the well of energy unveiled by the priests, but we of the Night Sentinels took no part in their abundance. Some among us whispered accusations and warnings against this manner of progress, but they were quelled, as it was not our role to dictate the future of our people, only to defend it. Interesting. So this is the reason why the Night Sentinels still have a, let's call it, human form, because they did not use the energy. They were not corrupted, as all the others were. Interesting. Damn it, this game is actually really deep. The history of the Sentinels, yeah, part 9. What do we have here? We got our, this is us, probably, like the Night Sentinel armor and stuff. With our crucible. Also covered in blood, again. We are the only one who is red, and we have slain a huge demon. Interesting. Also the sun and birds. A sign of peace most of the time. But why are birds a symbol of peace? I don't really get that. Birds are birds. What makes them peaceful animals? Birds can go from any place to another place, right? They are like the really free living things. Like a symbol of an open environment. If you see birds flying around, then this means like everything is peaceful, everything is open. If you don't see birds around, then that means there's a reason for that. And also like the sun, of course. Kind of like a symbol of power or whatnot. So, again, Liagra Sultagenta, Book of Kings. As the Black Star ascended to its zenith, King Novik sat restless on his throne as a howling darkness began to assemble just beyond the mountain rise to the east. The blight came upon us in droves, flooding forth from the Hellgate with merciless fury. They brought with them a monstrous titan, the Dreadnought, a beast to rival the stature and menace of even the mightiest ancestral. The grotesque giant laid waste to all before him, crushing all in his path. This was a total demonic assault, striking at the heart of Argab-Nur as never before. How was it that the behemoth could pass through the demonic gate without warning? We would never know, though the Night Sentinels believed treason was at play, because something that big is usually fairly easy to spot. Caught off guard, the Sentinels scrambled late in defiance of the Titan and his horde, and with his coming, the holy city of Taras Nabat prepared for judgment. With the onslaught of the demons massed in this sprawling shadow of the abhorrent fiend, the city shook to its foundation. None were spared, save those that fled north. The vile swarm ransacked our temples and places, burning our towers and feasting on the souls of our clergy. Yet the Night Sentinels rallied and held fast against the demons, though they were pushed back and quarreled at the blood arena. As the dark of night descended, their swords remained potent and shred the enemy multitude with abandon. Amidst the unyielding ranks of the Sentinels, when all other apprentices had fallen in battle, stood the Outlander, Rip and Tear. He roared, ferocious in battle. The remaining conscripts of the arena stood in awe as they witnessed the beast who had once raged within their very cells, Now armored alongside the shoulders of his Sentinel brethren, he had risen where none other had before, a true-born Sentinel fighter, the very best among them. But though the swarm fell before their assault, the Titan remained invincible, for none could tame the behemoth alone. In the hours before dawn, as the Night Sentinels weathered the relentless assault, the Outlander held his ground at the foot of the great wall in the northern bend of the castle. Seeing his unending vigor, Samur, Chancellor to the Mother God, hurried the Outlander away under veil of secrecy and for reason unknown, submitted him to a rite untold. This was heresy, for Samur received no consent from the Khanmaker, nor did he receive her counsel. In the Chapel of Purity, the Outlander submitted himself to the divinity machine, their Samur Maker, the Seraphim, known to us only as the aid to the Mother God, blessed the Outlander with fierce speed and power to match his will. It was the method by which his transfusion took place that was most uncertain to us, for we were of the knowledge that the Maker device bestowed onto their Argenta so many generations ago was to be used by the priests only to find the impurity among us. How could it be that the device that was meant to cull the Sentinel breed of its contaminations could then be used to purify the Outlander's body and give rise to the one who would lead us into battle henceforth? What rose from the holy coffin on that fateful day was not the impure abomination the Covenant warned us of. The hero within would come to be known only as the Great Slayer, the Time Walker, the warrior Khan, whose fire sword would blaze forth a path for the just and cut through the demonic horde with a vengeance that only a god king could summon. He rose unbroken by the ritual, his eyes burning with Maker magic. He took the crucible in his hand, and wraith fire leapt forth from the blade, as only it will when held by a true Sentinel warrior king. In our darkest hour, the Slayer had been chosen, defying tradition, our most sacred laws, and the will of the great Khan herself. A stranger to our lands, had been blessed with celestial might. Okay, let's go back for a thing. Like this device, the impurity machine. Does it make things impure? Does it find impure things? Does it collect impure things? And because we are actually marked by a symbol, and this must be like a thing, right? Like the Khan symbols are the ones that are more rounded, right? Sentinel symbols are edgy, and Maker symbols are like rounded, more like magical symbols. What was it? Yeah, it was the method by which this transfusion took place that was most uncertain to us, for we were of the knowledge that the Maker device bestowed on the Argenta so many generations ago was to be used by the priests only to find the impurity among us. How could it be that the device that was meant to cull the Sentinel breed of its contaminations, so it cuts everything contaminated out, interesting, could then be used to purify the Outlander's body? Does it put something into the body, or does it take something away from the body and give rise to the one who would lead us into battle henceforth? And also Samur Maker. That could be either this is a different name, or this is Samuel Hayden. Or Samuel Hayden is a completely different dude. Maybe I'm mixing this up, but Samuel, come on. Deek Graf. So this is his Sentinel / human form, and this is his corrupted form. Of course, like the corrupted one is always kind of slouchy, right? Like, why even? Like, why is everything that is bad or considered to be why is everything that is supposedly not good also slouchy, weak-ish looking, right? Like strength, power, kind of a presence, right? You stand upright. But this one looks old, And also the skin color is different. Really weird. Deek Graf remains the most powerful of the Hell Priests amongst the people of Argent Nur, frequently visiting his ancient homeworld to lord over the populace. Arrogant and pompous, Graf calls for blood sport in the arena to entertain the fallen citizens of Sentinel Prime. Since the demonic invasion of Earth began, he has operated on the planet's surface along with his fellow Hell priests to direct Hell's forces, but after the deaths of Deek Nilux and Deek Ranak, he has fled to the safety of the arena. It was Deek Graf who facilitated the torment and eventual betrayal of the Sentinel commander Valen, taking the keys to the sepulchre of elements and opening the vault of the sleeping wraiths. The ancient creatures were abducted, transported to Hell, and tortured to siphon away their power. Used the heart of Valen's son to animate the icon of Sin, a titan still spoken of in legend throughout Argent Nur. And this icon of Sin might be the thing that we, at least in the past, have slain.